Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
And this is Caroline.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and you know, Caroline's just sitting here reading the Manscaped Daily News.
And you know what I've come across?
What is it?
Crunchy sandwich horoscopes.
What? Tell me mine. I'm an Aries.
An Aries. It says, something could happen to you that you would never expect to happen. If it doesn't happen, don't be disappointed. You really shouldn't be having such unrealistic expectations anyhow.
What? I'm not going to win the lottery?
Yeah, I know. You can read mine.
What are you?
I'm an Aquarius. The best one, obviously.
Okay. Oh, yours is real long. Attempt to break out of your shell and pursue a love interest you've been thinking about. Uh-oh.
Okay.
If that person appears to be of the opposite sexual orientation of you, then consider your second choice. What are
they trying to say I need to be gay?
Oh. If that person just wants to be friends as their roommate. Oh, I like that. If they want to go get a drink and then repeat. Oh.
They basically are telling me to do what I just basically do anyway. Try anybody, and then if they say no, go get the next person. And go get some drinks and keep doing it.
Repeat.
Well, thank you, Manscaped Daily News, for those horoscopes.
Speaking of Manscaped, Caroline, this episode is brought to us by Manscaped.
You know what, April? Manscaped is probably the best thing that we've come across because did you know that they have this huge performance package with all these amazing items? And let me tell you, there's probably over 5 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, and probably 100 or more females as well, or a million.
Probably more.
But we do have this exclusive offer for you, and it's 20% off. You go to manscaped.com, enter code BHH, and free shipping, worldwide free shipping. So that's a lot of clean shaved balls.
A lot of clean shaved balls. And what we have right here on the table, it comes in this performance package. And let me tell y'all, last week was test market in my household. And so Sweepy is loving the reviews. You know, he's a blue collar guy. And so he did the whole routine. He put on the ball deodorant. And guess what? When he got off work that next morning, he said he was still fresh.
Smelling
and
fresh.
Shiny. Yeah. It does smell good. Caroline's actually wearing it for perfume right now.
I am. It's amazing.
And let me tell you, what I've heard a couple guys, and they're like, you know, I don't want to look like I'm 4 years old down there. Guess what? This lawnmower does different levels. So you can be as bald or not bald. You might just want to trim as you want.
You might just want a little stubble. You can actually, according to the Manscaped Daily Mail.
There's different
styles for your Mr. Johnson. So you can have original, you can get lucky, make a little clover. You can be royal and have a clown. You can be social and have like a duck for Twitter and a like thumb or flower power. I mean, it's basically like females. You use like a landing strip. You can have, you can be as creative as you want. Do all kinds of creative things.
And like I did last episode, I'm calling out 2 of our most bougiest male listeners, and they have the same name, Matt D and Matt B. If they actually probably already have the performance package, but you're going to need another one. So go on there and register. Your wives, I know, will thank you. You're welcome, wifeys.
You're welcome. So remember, once again, you get 20% off and free shipping with code BHH at manscaped.com and free shipping worldwide. Did we mention BHH is the code, 20% off? How many times we got to say it?
I don't know. All right, y'all. Last thing. This is for women too. My cousin, random female, she was like, "Oh, been using Manscaped. She loves it, and it makes the job a lot easier." Women, you know what I'm talking about.
I love men's smells too, so I'm just
she's sniffing herself over here.
It smells so good.
Y'all, we are about to go to a crazy town, Caroline. This episode, I'm going to need your full attention.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Hang on. Let me get
crazy town. Okay. I heard this story some years back.
Okay.
And then I guess I just forgot about it. So I stumbled on it again a couple weeks ago, and it was a Lifetime movie, and I was on the couch and I was like, what? I had no idea. So I just want to take y'all through this roller coaster ride that I went on here recently. Are you good?
I'm just going to not wear them until I need to.
So we're going to start off. This episode is called Tangled Web. And I watched a movie. I watched a 2020. There's a 2020 about it.
Okay.
And
trying
then,
to be like me with watching 2020s.
And then I read a book. Well, I listened to a book. I'm not totally done because...
How did you do all of those things?
Well, I don't do anything else but listen to things when I'm working or driving.
That's how I watch trials, okay?
Yeah. This book was by Leslie Rule. Guess who her mama is? Anne Rule. Oh, if you're a true crime lover, author, book lover, Anne Rule, she's the thing.
She worked with Ted Bundy.
She worked with Ted Bundy.
And she wrote the book.
And she wrote The Stranger Beside Me. Yeah. So this is her daughter, and she's just as badass as her mom. So that book is called The Tangled Web.
Wow. I wish I had some kind of like good talent like that where I could like write a book or like be a lawyer. But you know what?
Now. Start tomorrow.
No, I've decided I'm just going to be a podcaster.
Okay. So we're starting off in Iowa.
Oh.
All right. So the scene is at a park in Iowa, and this lady decides to go on a walk. It's a little bit after dark. It's December 5th, 2015.
It's my dad's birthday.
And it's a little dark, but the park is lit, and she's on her walk, and some lady approaches her.
Okay.
And this lady has a gun. Oh. And the lady orders her to get down on the ground. And so she listens because the lady has a gun. She gets shot in her leg, and the lady takes off running.
That's rude.
So random.
That's real rude.
So rude. And so when the other lady that got shot feels like it's safe, she calls 911. The police come. They search the park. They even bring a helicopter out for her because this park isn't just like a little bitty park down by your house. It's like acres and acres, probably like our Cameron Park. Yeah.
Oh,
and so they're looking for this lady with a gun, this gun woman, and it's like they can't find her. She vanishes in midair. But the park is also so big. So keep that in mind. I'm rewinding this 3 years earlier. Okay.
Oh. Love it.
You might know this story.
I might.
Don't scoop it.
I won't.
Okay, so now we're in Omaha, Nebraska, and it's 2012, and it's hard for us to think like this. Omaha and Nebraska, they're just like 20 minutes from each other. And Iowa, sorry. So you can like drive down the road and you're in Iowa.
Right.
So we're close to this park. So let's meet a guy named Dave Kroupa.
Okay.
He's 35 years old. He lives in Omaha, Nebraska. He's working as a mechanic, and he is recently single because he just separated from his girlfriend / baby mama named Amy Flora. They were together for 12 years, but they couldn't make it work. Even with 2 kids, Dave has commitment issues. Like, he lived with her. He co-parented with her. They had kids, but he would not even think about marriage.
No.
So Amy was like, you're wasting my time.
Yeah.
And so eventually they just decided they're going to be friends and co-parent, and they do. So now Dave is single, right? And he hasn't been single in 12 years, and he's like, it's time for me to start dating. So what exists now in 2012 that didn't really exist in 2000 is online dating.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Plentyoffish.com. Ever heard of it?
Oh, yes, I've heard of it. Never been on that one. Sorry.
Well,
POF.
you may not want to.
It's POF.
POF. So he creates a profile and he's like, I'm just going to put myself out there. I'm sure I'm rusty, but let's just do it, right?
Okay.
So he matches up with a girl named Shanna Elizabeth Goyer. We're going to call her Liz because she goes by Liz.
Okay, she sounds nice.
She owns her own housekeeping business. She has 2 kids as well, the same age as Dave's kids. Her Instagram pics looked good. They decided they're going to go on a date at a local coffee shop, like just keep it, low key for the first date.
Yeah.
So now Dave makes it really clear, which I love this about Dave. On the first date, he's like, I do not want a relationship at all. Like, I want to have fun. I want to spend time. If that gets sexual, that's a plus.
Fuck around and find out.
But don't expect anything else out of me. And men, that is so honorable, I think, to do that. Women, when somebody tells you that, listen to them.
Yeah, no, I've matched with people and they'll tell me hey, I'm like, if we go to text or whatever, then some will say like, I'm looking for this, or I want to be in something serious, and so this is what I'm looking for, and if you're not into that, then that's fine, and whatever.
Wow.
So that's
for BDSM. If you're not into that,
I want to be like chained up a couple nights a week, or I want to be like whipped. Like I'm like, okay, well then let's do it. Let's get them out.
Sure, let's try.
Where's your dungeon?
Well, Dave was upfront like that, and so Liz was a little hesitant because she's not really on that page, but she was like, you know what, I'm okay. I'm gonna go with it. I'm okay. So they start having fun, like casual, sexual relationship. And Liz is pretty much a freak. Like they go to these clubs and they'll have sex in the clubs. In the car.
Okay, that's a little.
Dave's having a blast.
A little excessive there. Okay,
but not just with Liz.
Oh yeah, he's not monogamous. He's he's
got Mary, Kathy, Joyce, Beth, Margaret, Sandra. Like, women after women.
Okay, so
hosts from different area codes.
STDs. Okay, hope you use it.
Nothing came up with STDs, so hopefully they were real smart. Well, nobody was mad. Mary, Kathy, Joyce, nobody was mad because they all knew that he was playing the field.
I mean, they didn't know they were playing it that much of the field, did they?
Hey, 12 years he was tied down. He had 12 years to make up
I'm
from.
sorry that you're tied down. Sir. It's called married.
Yeah.
Don't do it if you don't want to be tied down.
That's why he didn't do it.
He wasn't married to
he was. That's the whole reason why they broke up, because he would not marry her. He just would shack up, have kids. He was committed, but he would not marry her. All right, so about 3 months into Dave and Liz's little casual relationship, Liz tries to take another step forward. And she's like, hey, what if I kept, a drawer, maybe my toothbrush here? I stay here so much.
She's trying to slide in.
And Dave is like, stop sign. Hold up. Wait a minute. No, thank you. This is what we've been doing. This is where it is.
Nopes.
But he's very respectful with it. And Liz, I think she's a little perturbed, and she lets him know. So they don't talk really for a little bit.
Oh.
Now we're about 6 months, and Dave has been living his best life for 6 months. Plenty of fish in it.
Yeah.
Probably smelling plenty of fish.
Fishies. He's probably using a lot of Manscaped.
So he's working at the mechanic shop that he works at, and a girl named Cari Farver comes in. Mm-hmm. You ever heard that name?
It's possible.
Okay. So she comes in, and she has a black Ford Explorer, and she needs it worked on. And Cari catches Dave's eye because she's tall, she's lean, she's blonde. She just seems to be charismatic, right off top. So they talk a little bit, and they get along. Oh. Cari's 37 years old, and she has a 14-year-old son. She was a badass computer programmer, software engineer. This is hurting. And she just basically has her life together.
Yeah.
So when he gets off work that day, he's like, let me go on Plenty of Fish and just see who I can talk to. Well, he stumbles upon Cari. So he messages her.
How? What are the odds? That must have been the only.
Is it? Well, and that's not before the time where, like, when you, sometimes you're in Walmart, right? And then somebody I've seen at Walmart, I'll go home and they're like on my people you may know.
Yeah,
Facebook.
yes. That's
this is before this. So it was just.
Like, if you talk about Manscaped, then you're going to get Manscaped ads on your phone, even though you don't ever look it up on your phone.
Before we were really stalked, I guess.
Yeah.
So he was like, oh, maybe it's meant to be. So they message each other, and they'll decide to go on a date.
He must be good looking, because anybody I've seen at the mechanic shop.
Because you're so
they're
visual.
They're literally missing teeth and can't really speak English. Not that they speak English, but they can't. But they do a great job on the car. I mean,
well, not every mechanic, but I mean, he's just real basic. That's him. I know you're visual, and that's actually Liz right there. Oh, okay. So he's just a basic guy. Like, he's not like a head turner or anything, but he's not ugly at all. So they go on a date, Caroline, and so he's so excited. Where do you think he takes her for their first date?
Well, it's not the coffee shop, because he's already done that, and he's got all his hoes there. So. George's?
They get all dressed up and they're so excited to go to the local Applebee's. Applebee's, and I was like, Applebee's? Maybe they only got Applebee's
did make a comeback recently with their whole TikTok situation. When you talk about Applebee's on a date night with some Burger King things, and
I just thought maybe he was cheap. They're getting a 2 for $22 or whatever it is.
I don't know.
Anyways, nothing wrong with Applebee's. Sponsor us.
Apparently,
Applebee's sponsor us.
Oh, that'd be nice.
So, but they have a great date. They have a great conversation. They have so much in common, and Cari ends up coming back to his crib.
And she is DTF.
Which one?
Not finding. She's not down to find the murder. She's down to.
Well, they're talking and they're having a good conversation, and she actually says some magic words.
I love you.
No, she says, I am not looking for a boyfriend, and I don't want to be a girlfriend. I want to have fun. And so
she pulls out her vibrator.
No, Dave is just like, great. Get out of my head. I agree. But
Thanks.
Dave's phone kept ringing, and he kept getting text messages.
Oh,
and
Liz over here trying to get all up in his shit.
It was Liz.
She's like, I knew you were at Applebee's. That was our spot.
Well, you only took me to a coffee house.
Hell, I'm pissed. I wanted those curly fries.
Well, Liz had actually forgotten her laptop and her iPad at his house
on purpose.
So she was letting him know that she was on the way to come and get it.
He's like, I'm gonna stop. Go ahead.
So Cari sees that like he's a little distracted. So she says, I need to go anyway. She lives like 45 minutes away. She's got a long drive. So Cari walks out and Liz is coming in and they pass each other and they kind of say hi. But shit. Look, it's no big deal because they both know Dave's girlfriend. Liz knew from day one. Cari knows that Dave plays the field. So why are you going to be mad?
I actually sure hope that they're both playing the field as well. Okay, because that's what I would be doing.
Yeah.
Kind of what I do.
So there was no drama. It was like no big deal.
Yeah.
Right. So Liz gets her stuff and she ends up leaving. No big deal. Cari's driving home and Dave was like, man, the date went so well. And then Liz interrupted it. Let me just call and do like a temperature check and make sure she's okay. So she calls Cari and Cari's driving home and he's like, hey, I'm sorry about that. And Cari's like, oh, you were good. Actually, it is what it is.
I'm going to meet John right now.
No. She was like, but if you want to, you can come. I feel
like
we ended our date early. You can come to my house.
Okay.
So.
Oh, shit.
Dave gets his ball deodorant and his toner, and he's like freshening up down there.
He has got his weed whacker and his
Got
lawnmower.
the weed whacker out. And so he's like, okay, here I go. So he drives that 45 minutes to Cari's house, and that is when it goes down.
So, but she drove 45 minutes to get to his house.
Well, they met somewhere like in the middle.
And then they went back to his house.
Went back, which is like 20 minutes. So, but actually she's got to drive 45 minutes away. So they see each other about every day, or at least talk on the phone for 2 weeks straight. And Cari's telling her friends, man, you know, I'm hitting it off. And Dave's telling his coworkers, like, man, she's a little bit different. And Dave turns over a new leaf. Dave is like, because what happens is Cari, a little bit, I think he's maybe a little bit. Cari works about 10 minutes from Dave's, but it's like an hour from her. And so she's having to work late. She has this big project. And so Dave was like, that way why don't you come and stay at my house while you're working on this project? And you don't have to drive an hour home. And Cari was like, I don't know about that. But after she thought about it, she was like, yeah, my son Max can just go stay with my mom. Sure, I'll come tomorrow. So she packs a little bit of bags, brings her toiletries and her work stuff, and Dave gives her a key, and she stays there for a couple days, and it is great. Great, right?
Okay.
So this happens for a couple of days. And on the morning of November 13th, 2012, he gets up, he kisses her for work, they make plans for dinner. He's been working, and it's about lunchtime, and he receives a text message from Cari. And he's a little excited because, you know, this is the new fun stage, right? The text message says, I want to move in together permanently.
Okay. What? Excuse me, what?
Yes.
Wait.
Cari texts Dave, says, I want to move in together permanently. It's kind of like Dirty Chat did to you.
Facts. Wait, this is how long after they?
2 weeks.
Okay, and not exclusive because he's still fucking around and finding out with other people.
Yes. So Dave was blindsided. He was like, wait, she's the one that told me she wants nothing because she just got out of a relationship. And Dave was like, so sorry. My feelings have not changed about commitment. Moving too quickly. Okay, bye. He's just dropped it. And Cari's response is, fine, fuck you. I have somebody else anyways. I hate you. So Dave,
at least I was with Dirty Chat for a little longer than that.
So Dave is so confused, and he's like telling his coworker, because he was just like had been telling him about it's so perfect that they're on the same page, but they're having fun. So she's in flip mode right now, and he's like, I don't understand why.
Gosh.
He gets off work later that evening, and he goes home, and all of her shit is gone. It's like Cari has never been there. Toiletries, work stuff, the little bit of clothes that she had, and he's just still blindsided. And a couple days later, he gets another text from Cari.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah, remember he gave her a key because she was going to stay there for a couple
after
days.
2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. I know. But this was a temporary stay.
Okay.
So yeah, she had her key and she got her shit, right? After a couple more days, he receives a text from Cari, and the text says, I hate you. I never want to see you again, you motherfucker. You broke my heart. You know, just like going off and cussing. And now he's like, first he was confused. Now he's like,
oh,
fuck
gosh.
that. I dodged a bullet.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm glad this happened sooner rather than later. Bye.
He fucked around and found out.
He found out.
He found out.
So a little backstory on Cari. She went to Kansas University after high school, got pregnant at 22. The guy kind of left her to raise the kid by herself. So she raised Max alone. She's been married twice. One guy was abusive, and she has been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and depression.
Okay. And she has a head injury.
She eventually got on medicine, and after
doesn't take it.
That medicine, she got her degree. She got a badass job, making a ton of money. She's got her own house. She's been saving money. And now that her life's she's been raising her kid. And now that her life's together, she was like, let me get on POF and see if I can hang out. And that's where she met Dave. So that's just like what we know about Cari. What we know now is the same day she texted Dave, she also texted her mom. Remember, Max, her son, is with her mom. She says, Mom, I took a job in Kansas. I'll come get Max later. They live in Nebraska. Is that close? Probably. I think it's like 2 states away. I don't know. I think they're above each other maybe. But she was like, I'll come get Max later. I took this job in Nebraska. So Mom was blindsided.
Okay.
Because she was like, wait, what? She would just not leave her kid. And she was talking to Max, and she was like, Max, has your mom ever said anything about moving to Kansas? And Max was like, yeah, she did mention that, going back to her college town before. She also texted her son, Matt, and she was like, Max. She also texted Max, and she was like, Max, I'll come get you in a couple days. Took this job. We're going to go to the wedding together this weekend, and then we'll pack our stuff and go to Nebraska, right? Are they close?
Yep, right there. Right Kansas above. And Nebraska.
I'm so good at
geography.
American geography.
I'm a geographist.
Okay, close it. I see it. Right there. Okay.
So I like bossy people. I do like to be bossed.
Do you want me to wear this strap on?
100%. I love to be. I need to be bossed around. I need to be told what to do. I like to be dominated.
So
there you have it. Just for you, bitches. You're welcome.
So now she's texted Mom, said, I'm in Kansas. I took a new job. She's texted son, I'm in Kansas, took a new job. I'll see you at the wedding. The wedding was going to happen like in the next weekend. Then she sent an email to her job, and she was like, peace out, I quit. I got a new job in Kansas.
Okay.
Everybody was blindsided.
They're like, okay.
But the mom was like, this doesn't make sense, but I'll talk to her. She's busy. I'll talk to her when she gets at the wedding this weekend. So Amy's brother was getting married, and she was in the wedding, and she was so excited about it. So now it's the weekend, and it's time for the wedding, and guess who doesn't show up?
Who?
Cari. I might have said Amy just now. Cari's brother. Sorry, Cari does not show up to her brother's wedding.
Oh, after she's already texted everybody that's what she was doing.
And she's in the wedding.
Oh.
And she was so excited. So she doesn't show up.
Oh,
and so
Brad's going to be pissed.
Cari's mom, they delay it for her, but they finally have it. Cari's mom is so worried because she's like, Cari just wouldn't have done this. This is just weird. This is weird. So she goes to the police.
Do they know she's bipolar?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
They go to the police, and she's like, I think something's wrong with my daughter. And she tells her everything that's kind of happened. And so the police are like, well, does she have any mental health issues, or has she ever run away like this before? And Mom was like, yes and yes. She did that when Max was little. And she is diagnosed with bipolar disorder, but she's been on her medicine consecutively for like 10 years straight, and she wouldn't do this. And they're like, but she has.
But she did.
And she did.
Cari and Sherry. Papini.
And so basically, they were like, I can't help you. Plus, she's texting you. You know she's fine. She's not missing. She's texting her son. So Mom was like, okay, they're not going to help me. It's now November 23rd, so it's been 10 days, and Dave gets a call from Liz.
Okay.
And she asks Dave why she is getting horrible text messages from a girl named Cari. How did Cari get her number? And that Cari is sending these horrible, threatening, ugly messages and emails to her.
I know this story. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, this is good.
All right. So Dave is like, oh, shit. I'm getting them too. I'm sorry. Cari's the girl that I dated. It's only been 2 weeks. I don't know why she's so obsessive. I'm sorry. So Liz gets home and she sees her garage door vandalized. It says in red paint, Dave's whore.
I was like, die, bitch, die.
Dave's whore. And so she tells Dave, she calls the police because it's not her house, it's a rent house. And she tells the police that she's been harassed by a girl named Cari.
So this is Liz.
This is
Liz, who is, it's on her garage.
It's on Liz's garage.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And she's calling the police because it's vandalism, right?
Yeah.
And the police was like, do you know who should do this? Who would do something like this? And she said, yeah, Cari.
Why would she know, though?
Because Cari had been sending her these horrible messages, threatening her, calling her a whore. And so she says, this is the only person that can do it. She's pissed at me because we were seeing the same guy at some point, right?
Yeah.
So they call Dave up. And so Dave comes to the police station, and they're asking Dave about Cari. Is he in on this? And Dave was like, no, shit, I'm getting the messages too. I'm being harassed. I'm getting a ton a day. And so they take Dave's phone, and they take Liz's phone, and they do just a quick little dump. And they're like, okay, can I see these messages? And so, but basically that's all they can do. There's not really been... They go look for this Cari girl, you know.
Yeah.
So remember, this is two different police departments because one
They're
is
in two different
Nebraska,
states.
one's Iowa. Yeah.
What about Kansas?
Kansas is where Cari is, like moved
the
job to. So we got Nebraska and we got Iowa. And so mom has done a missing person, or tried to say, I think my daughter's missing or gone. And they're saying Cari is a stalker and vandalizing me. Now, the police were like, okay, in the meantime, block her number, delete your email accounts. And Dave was like, I have 12 times. And she just calls from a different number and calls from a different number. So now we're going to like switch the scenes to Cari's mom's. And not only has Cari missed her brother's wedding, it's been her birthday. Mm-hmm. It's been Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. It's been her son's birthday, and her dad got sick, and her dad died, and Cari didn't show up to the funeral.
Oh. So
mom is like, has been begging. Now, Cari's still texting, I'm sorry, I need a break. I can't do it. You're asking too much of me. And she's kind of getting rude on these text messages. And mom was just like, come home. Just call me. I'll feel better if you just call me. And Cari will never call. She only responds to text messages and Facebook messages. So little Maxwell, that's you too.
Same Z's.
So, Maxwell, the son, he's like, you know what? He's doubting. He's like, is this my mom? Or is this not my mom? Like, I don't understand. So he doesn't respond to her too much. And then if he does, he says, what's my middle name? What's my childhood's best friend? What's my boxer's name? He's trying to get her to prove.
Yeah.
And instead of her answering it, she's just like, screw you too.
Okay, that's doing the most.
It's like, weird. It's so weird. But Cari's also posting on Facebook like everything's normal. She's posted she just took a new job at Kansas, checking in at some new place. She posts that she just got engaged to a guy named Dave Kroupa.
Oh, my God.
And she posted a hand and an engagement ring. And that she's fine. She's just taking a break.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Hi, this is Sarah.
And I'm Carter.
And this is Some of Our Thoughts.
We're two Southern sommeliers, and we want to share everything we love and know about wine. We started hanging out during quarantine and cooking and drinking and listening to music, and we just thought this would be a great way to bring everything we know to you guys.
We will make wine knowledge and food pairings easy and approachable. So put on your favorite vinyl, grab your favorite glass of wine, tune into our show, and let's have some fun.
Wine and vinyl. So check us out on roguemedianetwork.com or wherever you get your favorite podcast. We'll be talking about a lot.
911, what's your emergency?
Do you hear that? It's coming from the house.
It's coming from inside the house? Do you mean? Could it be?
The Poltergeist. New from Rogue Media. Two haunted hotties talking about haunted places. Every episode we dive deep into the darkest places and give you a bit of history.
We're getting spooky in all the right places.
You've gobbled your last ghoul.
Follow along for the craziest and spookiest stories with Debbie's Dark Tourism. The Stanley Hotel,
Winchester House,
the Alamo,
Hotel Monte Vista,
and more spooky places. Find us at _Poltergals. POLTERGALS.
Look over your shoulder. It's us,
The Poltergals. Wherever you consume the podcast, you can find us there.
Welcome to One Star Rewind, a new podcast about those dreaded one-star reviews that every business owner hates to receive, but yet every customer loves to read. During this podcast, we will peel back that one-star review to better understand how it happened, when it happened, and what the business owner is doing after receiving that one-star review. This podcast will be about love, hate, and laughter. On One Star Rewind, we will meet with real business owners who will tell their stories and how they do rely on reviews for their business. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or download us at roguemedianetwork.com. Please subscribe, but only rate and review for not a one-star review. Join us each time for a new review and a new story.
So mom is like, that's not Cari. Cari doesn't speak like this. She doesn't act like this. Her text messages are not typos and bad grammar. And she's not even calling. She's cussing. She's not a cusser. Like all these things. And mom's just like, it can't be my daughter. Can't be my daughter. Like my daughter wouldn't do this, right?
I wonder if my parents would know. I don't think they would. I think my mom would not know. But she would call and call and call.
Yeah. But you would not answer like you always do.
I do answer occasionally. If it's like, if on like call number 3, I might finally answer. I'm getting better.
Avoidance.
It's all Dirty Chad's fault.
Well, so Cari's mom eventually, because it's been like weeks and weeks and weeks, and she's like she's got a home. I need to go like throw out the old food. I need to make sure her lights are still on. Maxwell needs some clothes. So they go to the apartment and she's like cleaning up, and she's actually got some type of like temporary custody over the son because mom just is gone, right? And she has access to Cari's account, so she's paying the bills and keeping everything going in the house. But when so when she's there, she sees Cari's bipolar medicine sitting on the counter, and it's untouched. And so that means Cari's not taking it. And the last time she didn't take it, this is what she did. So now she's wondering, could this be true? Is she having an episode? Like, she just doesn't know. And by this time, Dave, he's receiving 60 violent messages a day from Cari, plus 100 emails. Like, that's the average. He blocks her. She finds him on another number.
This is just after 2 weeks of them.
2 weeks.
Wow.
How never get on. This is bad advertising for Plenty of Fish. I feel like it is.
Well, good thing they don't sponsor us.
So, she was saying stuff like, Liz needs to kill herself before I kill her. Her and her ugly ass kids. And Liz's car is getting keyed. Liz's car is getting vandalized, like, over and over. And he just feels horrible about it.
I mean, what did Liz do?
Liz just got in the way of their relationship, according to Cari. It's Liz's fault that
Jeez.
Dave didn't let her move in. It's Liz's fault.
Clearly.
So Liz and Dave get a little bit closer because this drama.
Yeah, they're bonding over this
drama.
Yeah.
And so they're like talking more, and now they're hanging out, and then the casual sex starts up again. And Liz has kind of convinced Dave, Caroline, to make a small little commitment to her.
Toothbrush. At the house?
Not yet. Guess what the commitment is?
T-shirt. Okay.
She gets every Wednesday.
Oh, didn't know it was a custody agreement. I'm so sorry. Wasn't aware.
She's the Wednesday bitch. And she is like really excited.
I bet
to
she
be the
feels
Wednesday.
so special.
And it's like, can I not even get a good day? A Thursday, Friday, or Saturday? Even a Sunday. Like, I'd take Sunday's better than a Wednesday.
That's where he got his bitches coming.
So Liz is officially Wednesday girl. But his feelings for her have not changed. They have great sex, but they can't have a conversation. They can't, like, he can't talk to her. Cari was very smart. Liz was not. He can't have a conversation with her.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
In my life.
Oh. Are you reflecting over here?
Maybe.
So now,
that's true.
Also, it's kind of like process of elimination for Liz, because Dave is still on POF and he's still matching and he's still getting with girls, right? But as soon as he messages somebody, friends somebody new on Facebook, or goes on a date, guess who is now stalking them?
Oh my gosh, Cari.
Cari, like, he can friend somebody on Facebook, a new girl, and within a day, Cari is messaging
How does she
them.
even know? Okay.
Email. She is on it.
Clearly.
Cari is actually DTF. So bad that one girl named Jessica, she was separated from her husband, and she was on Plenty of Fish, and her and Dave were going back and forth and talking. I think they met up like one time. And after that one time of meeting up, she gets a message from a Cari Farver and saying, "Why are you dating Dave? He's abusive and he has herpes."
I knew it. Called it.
If you don't stop talking to him, I'm going to tell your husband and I'll hurt your ugly kids. She calls everybody's kids ugly.
Your husband? So these people are married? Okay.
Jessica's married, but she's separated right now.
Okay, well,
you
know, all those married people just...
Her car was keyed.
Of course it was.
And she was harassed until she finally had to file a police report and block Dave. Like, unfriend Dave, block Dave. And Dave was like, I'm never going to get laid by anybody else.
No.
Again.
Mm-mm.
So now the stalking is escalating.
Oh, I felt like it already had escalated, but okay, it's even
more. It's like, how can you get worse than this? Well, it does. Now Dave would be sitting on his couch watching TV, and he'll get a text message, and it'll say, "I see you sitting on your couch wearing a blue shirt."
No.
Like, in real time, he's getting that. And what's he doing? Sitting on the couch.
Wearing a blue shirt.
Wearing a blue shirt. And then he'll send, Cari will send Dave a picture of a knife, and she says, "I've been around your apartment," and it's his damn knife. So, like, she's been in his apartment where his knives are, and that's like her evidence that she's been in there.
I was like, I kind of would like for somebody to be like, I've seen you.
I was like,
I see you on the couch with your spaghetti, with your hoodie on, with your under eye patches on, looking all fresh, and I'd be like, "Boy, stop!"
It's like off Will and Grace when Karen had a stalker. She would like stand by the windows and like
she'd be like, "Yes, yes."
What? I got a stalker? It's kind of flattering, maybe for a day, I guess.
Oh, I'm waiting for the day I have a stalker to flash them.
Y'all stalk Caroline. She wouldn't notice it anyways. You could be at the.
You'd be like, "Damn those nipples."
She wouldn't notice if you followed her to 17 places. She would have no idea.
Nope, wouldn't have a clue.
Okay, so
test it.
Also, Dave and Liz would be out, restaurant or whatever, and they'll both get a text at the same time from Cari, and it says, "I see Dave wearing his blue shirt and that fat bitch wearing a red shirt, and y'all are eating apple pie," or just something like so random, so real time. But they go and look for her, and they can't find her anywhere. They're like, "Is she a ninja? Is she invisible?" So,
how is she?
And that would happen so much. Obviously, every Wednesday they're together, right?
Yeah.
That they would be watching TV. Liz's phone would be over there. Dave's phone would be over there. They'd go off at the same time because they're getting the same messages, and it's Cari some type of harassing, right? Well, police still really aren't doing anything about it. And it's 2013, and Dave comes home from work, and he sees Cari's car in his apartment complex. And he's like, "Oh, bitch, you going down. You've been making my life miserable." He calls the police, and he's like, "She's here. This is her car. I know her car. I've worked on it." And the police come. They run the license plate, and they see that it's her car. But also, it comes up that she's kind of got a little missing persons case out too, because mom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when they process the car, there's no dirt. There's no prints. That's like spick and span. There's like nothing in, no lip gloss, no like tissue, no like wrappers. There's nothing in there. It's like it'd been just cleaned out and dropped off. But what they do find is in the cup holder is a bottle of like mints. Like Tic Tacs or something, and they see what they think is a fingerprint on the mints. So they bag the mints, and they send that in. They dust everything, and then they call Cari's mom and says, "Here's her car." And Maxwell is just about the age to start training to drive. So Maxwell gets to start driving his mama's car. So now it's spring of 2013, and Dave receives a link to an obituary, but
oh gosh, she's probably hoping it's Cari's.
Obituary is Liz's obituary. Cari sends a link to an obituary, but it says Shanna Elizabeth Goyer, and the death date is today, like May 11th, 2013. So the day that he received the text. So he's like, "Oh, is she gonna kill Liz?" And then he gets another message right after that, and it's a picture of Liz bound, gagged, and tied up in the back of a car. It looks like she's passed out. So Dave is like, "Oh, shit, she got Liz. Let me call Liz." And she calls Liz. He calls Liz, and Liz answers the phone, and Liv's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm just making sure you're okay. All right, bye."
But it wasn't her?
It was not her because Liz was fine.
He couldn't tell?
It looked just like Liz, but like her mouth is covered up. You can see like her hair. You can see a picture on there, and it's definitely Liz. But Liz was like, "I'm in my bed. I'm fine. I'm sorry." So what are your thoughts right now?
I don't know, because I thought I knew this case, but I don't want to ruin it if I do know what's happening.
So Liz is gagged, right? There's a picture. And now we're in August of 2013. So it's almost a year since all this is happening, right? And Liz calls Dave hysterical, and she's screaming. And her house is on fire.
Okay.
But luckily, Liz's kids are not there. Luckily.
Wow.
But you know
you're
what
so lucky, Liz.
was there? Her dogs, her cat,
fuck the cats,
and her snake.
Okay, bitch. I'm already done with you.
2 dogs.
I'm going to need you to save your dogs. I don't care about the damn snake and the cats.
And the cat.
Cats have 9 lives and they shit in boxes, so they're fine.
So they all got killed in the fire.
We will not get sponsored by kitty litter or whatever, pretty litter or whatever the hell.
No
will
kitty nothing.
Anything for dogs, I'm in.
So, house burns down. She loses just about everything.
Down? Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
She has to like move out, right? The next day, Dave goes to work, and when he pulls up at his job, there is orange spray paint across the building where he works in the middle of town on a busy road. Dave is a woman beater.
Okay, there's no cameras.
Okay. No.
Yeah, no.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
Or the cops are doing nothing right now, like nothing on either side of this. So he's now officially scared. He's been aggravated and pissed, but now he's scared. He's like, oh, he burned her shit down. She's now like coming to my job. He goes and he moves. He quits his job. He gets another job. He changes his number again. He deletes Plenty of Fish. He ain't done that yet because he's real thirsty. And he deletes his email and he buys a gun because he feels like he's in danger.
Okay.
And he gets a little bit of peace for a minute. But, you know, he decides to log back on Plenty of Fish. I'm like, Dave, get off the shit.
He's like, I'm real horny right now.
It's not Wednesday.
Dave,
it's like Friday.
Dave, there's more websites you can go on.
I was like, where's eHarmony?
There's plenty of apps. My uncle went on Farmers Only, and he's not a farmer. Buddy is not a farmer, and he went on Farmers Only. He found love. I mean, it wasn't like long love. It was like a couple weeks love, but, you know, found it.
It's good enough. Good enough. Well, he matched with a pretty girl. And they hit it off over messages. And Dave was hesitant because usually he would talk to a girl and then like a little bit later, Cari would message the girl. And the girl's like, what, you have herpes? What, you beat women? This girl, Cari, told me you beat her and you gave her herpes. But there was nothing, right? Cari hadn't contacted this new girl. And they talked for a while.
But he wasn't hanging out with Liz anymore?
Yeah, he is, but it ain't Wednesday. They talked for a while, and they decided to meet. So they go to a meetup place, but the girl never shows up. So he sits, and he's, like, waiting. Then he gets a text from Cari. Yeah, dumbass. That was me this whole time. She pulled a 42 on him.
What's a 42?
42 faker.
Oh, I don't know.
It's just faked him out.
Oh, shit.
So childhood friend comes over. She throws a brick through the window. And now it's about 3 years.
I love how you just grazed over that.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
She's got this isn't even a friend that, it's a girl that he has any relations with. It's just a girl.
Okay, so he gets a brick thrown through the window. No big deal.
Throws a brick through the window.
Yeah.
And he just keeps talking because he's just used to it.
All right. Well, whatever.
Just like I did.
Yeah.
He continues in the conversation. So it's about 3 years later. And now Cari's mom she's like, I'm not going to drop this. Like, my daughter has to be dead. Her account still has thousands of dollars in it. She has not touched a penny since she supposedly ran off. She missed her dad's funeral. And that hand that was posted on Facebook, on her Facebook page,
it's not her hand.
Was a little fat, chunky hand.
Didn't have those same hand wrinkles. Bullshit.
So
hand scars.
Now the police are like, hey, you know what? We might believe you now. We might believe you 3 years later. And they've been doing a little bit of investigation on their own. So they call Dave up and they're like, Dave, I hate to break it to you, but we do not think that Cari is the person who's been stalking you this whole time. We think that Cari is actually dead and somebody's impersonating her.
She's been dead this whole time?
Been dead this whole time. So 3 years later, they're like...
3 years? She's been dead for 3 years?
She's been missing for 3 years, and now they think she's dead. So obviously they think she's been dead for 3 years. So Dave was like dumbfounded. He's like, no way. Her name is saying Cari. Her Gmail saying Cari. It happened right when Cari got mad at me. And they asked, who do you think would do this? Like impersonate Cari? And he's like, nobody. Cari. Only Cari, right? And the police were like, no. Let me tell you what we think. We actually think it's Liz. And here's why. Dave was like, no way, cannot be, because we
were together whenever we would get these text messages, yes. Both of us at the same time. How she's on her phone and we're getting text messages. Yeah,
how can that happen?
You can't time or schedule things.
Or maybe back then you couldn't. So what happened is when they did that initial phone dump of Liz's phone, like when her garage was being vandalized, they saw a little bit more when they did that, dump of her text messages and stuff, and they saw her call log, and that the day that Cari supposedly left, guess who called her 10 times in a row that morning? Liz.
The 10 times Cari left, Liz called her 10 times.
Yeah. So that November 13th, when she got pissed at him for not letting her move in. And then she just never saw anybody again. Remember, she texted her mom and she was like, I'm gone. Text her son, I'm gone. Quit her job. For some reason, Liz called her 10 times that morning and called her anonymously, because you see the star 67 on there. Remember that?
Yes.
Did you ever do that?
Star 69, star 67. Yeah.
Yes. So also on her phone was a picture of Cari's Ford Explorer. And this picture, so this picture was like, why would Liz have a picture of Cari's Ford Explorer if she didn't even know Cari? And why would she be calling Cari 10 times if she didn't know Cari? Because that's what Liz has been saying this whole time. I don't even know her. I saw her for 5 seconds one time, right? This was all circumstantial evidence. And they weren't really convincing Dave. So they needed more, and they needed to show that Liz was crazy, the stalker, right? So...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, because, like, she was... I mean, why would... There's so many things that happened. Like, so she burnt down her own house?
Did she? That's like Dave... It's exactly what Dave's saying. Dave is like...
And why is she being so... would she be so mad about it? She's getting to spend time with him. And it's like, while she's spending time with him, she's like, she's convinced, like, she's convinced him that she's crazy, but he doesn't really love her and doesn't want to be with her because she has no personality and she can't really talk or have conversations. She's not smart enough. So she's getting more pissed, and he's still not like wanting to be with her. So then he thinks it's because of Cari. And then, is that what's happening? I think that's what's happening.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds real good, actually, because Dave isn't convinced. And so Dave continues to communicate with Liz. But in December 2015, Liz gets an epiphany. It's like December 1st. She gets an epiphany, and she goes to the police station, and she's like, she says, you know what? I'm thinking about it. Cari only knew Dave for 2 weeks. It can't be it can't be her doing this stalking. Why would she do that? She only knew him for 2 weeks. It doesn't make sense. I think it's not Cari. I think it's somebody who has been with Dave a lot longer than any of us have. And it's his ex, Amy Flora.
So she inserted herself into this situation, and she went to the police, and she said I don't think Cari is doing these things.
Yes.
I think it's somebody. So she's like inserting herself into this investigation, making herself look even more of a suspect by saying, I think it's this person because of this and this and this and this, and I know this and this.
And really what's happening is
she's getting the light shined on her because they're like, why are you giving all of us all of this information?
Yeah. And she knows that, like, Dave is being questioned a little bit more because they brought him in, and they're like, you know.
So she's making herself look real guilty by doing the most, extra most.
So now she's blaming Amy, baby mama, for everything. She's like, this has not been Cari. Amy is impersonating Cari. She's the only person that has been with him long enough to care, and that she won't get out of his life. And it's her. So the police actually get smart, and they're like, wow, that makes so much sense. But you know what? We need to look into this. Can we have these messages? We need to look at them a little closer. These new messages, right? And she's like, oh, sure. Where do I sign? So she signs. Well, what she doesn't know is now she's a suspect instead of a victim. So when you're a suspect, you can get anything. You can pull everything off the SD, everything off, right?
Oh.
So they get everything.
Don't worry. If you delete your messages, they can still get them.
Yes.
So don't try to be slick because it ain't going to work.
So she gives them her phone. They get everything off of it, and she leaves. And just the next day, she's at the park going for a walk, and there's a 911 call. And when she's in the hospital, she identifies.
So Liz
she's at the park, and then a 911 call comes in, and this is where we started at the beginning, where a woman gets shot in the park. Okay?
Yes.
Then, but on the 911 call, she says she doesn't know who the lady is.
Yeah.
Later on at the hospital, she says it was Amy Flora, Dave's baby's mama. This bitch shot her own self in the leg and blamed it on Amy Flora.
Wow.
Amy had an airtight alibi, and the police didn't think it was her.
They already
not even a little
this bitch
bit.
Was crazy.
So while Liz is recovering in the hospital, analysts are like going through the phone, and they found an app called Delay Messages where you can literally write messages and choose the time that they get sent. She schedules out her text, right? We used to schedule emails and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Schedule posts.
Yeah, you can do
that. Then in 2012, I don't think I would have thought of that. Now I would have. When I watched it, I was like, "Oh, she's using the damn delay app." So also, all of the messages and the emails that were traced back to her, or one of her IP addresses on her laptop or her phone or her something.
Yeah, that quick.
And they ran the fingerprint on the Tic Tac, and guess who this is?
Bitch.
It's her. It's old Lizzie girl. And then on her phone, guess what they find?
Everything.
A picture of herself bound and gagged from in the back of she bound and gagged her own damn self.
Well, I may have done that a time or two.
And I don't know how she took a picture of herself. I don't know. We didn't have
you can delay. You can also delay the timer on your phone.
So she had it
You
down.
can put the countdown on.
But they were like, we still need more info because this can be argued in courts. So once Liz heals, they bring her in.
Oh my gosh. That's the one thing I don't get about the court system is like, it's clearly obvious, but it can be argued. So
let me just see what this is.
I guess that's why we have lawyers who know what they're doing and who know what they're...
Pretty obvious this is an intentionally set fire.
The guy that I'm seeing, he has a girlfriend that he dated for 2 weeks, and she's been stalking me since November.
Do you know her name?
It's Cari. C-A-R-I. She won't leave me alone. She will not go away. I just wish she would go away.
That was from when she had the garage burned down.
Liz then again shifts the blame away from Cari Farver towards Amy Flora.
She was with him for 12 years. And she still goes in and out of his life all the time. So.
Yeah. So you think she could have been a person that did some of that stuff to you?
I'm just saying, as another person who would be possessive of Dave, it would be her.
When I'm sitting across from Liz, I knew most likely she was a murderer. Even though she didn't look intimidating, that was always in the back of my mind. I knew that she was responsible for whatever happened to Cari. And I knew in order for us to solve this, she was gonna have to believe that I genuinely thought Amy was responsible for all of it. In my head, I'm thinking if she was bold enough to go and shoot you, okay, she could easily be bold enough to have done something to Cari.
And that's where Detective Doty tells her that he needs her help to get Amy to confess to Cari's murder.
So now they're trying to do some detective work.
Okay.
And they're being smart, right? And so they now know it's Liz, and they're like teaming up with Liz. And Liz is thinking, oh, yeah, because she's pissed because Dave doesn't believe that it's Amy. Mm-hmm. He still believes that it's Cari. And they knew that whatever Liz conjures up would be her own confession, masked as Amy's, right? So in a couple days after this interview, Liz comes back with an email from Amy.
Oh, wow.
And the email said something like this. Yes, Liz, I did attack her. I stabbed her 3 to 4 times in the chest and stomach. Then I burned her body and I stuffed her in a trash can and dumped her in Big Lake Park.
Oh, Jesus.
Which is the park where she got shot. Same park. And so she takes that to police and she's like, we got her. And the police was like, I need a little bit more though. Well, not her. He was like, oh, great. We need to look into this. Thank you so much. They send her home and she feels like a hero, right?
Yeah.
But to each other, they're like, we need a little bit more. Let's push her over the edge. So they call up Dave, and Liz is at Dave's house, like when they eventually call him. And they said, Dave, we basically need you to come in. And when he comes in, they tell him to tell Liz that he is moving back in with Amy and the kids.
Oh, yes.
Because
she's going to freak out.
One, she's going to freak out, and that tell her that you are scared for your kids and Amy's life because you're scared that Cari is going to come and hurt them.
Yes.
And so she is pissed. She's like, bitch, my garage moved in. My house burned down, and you didn't even let me come live with you. She's like living in somebody's basement with her kids. Like, she is so mad, right?
Yes.
So this is...
Play it.
She calls...
Looks like the only person that benefited was her. So she gets to shoot somebody, and then she gets to kill another person, and then she gets to move in with Dave, and she gets to be free. And you guys aren't arresting her.
So she's freaking. She's calling the police. Nothing is working. And she comes in, and the police were like, I know you're upset. I need you to help us arrest her. We need more info. We know Dave does not believe us that it's Amy. Is there anything, do you think Amy will tell you anything more specific about the crime? And she's like, I don't know. I'll try. So she leaves. And then mysteriously, another email comes up from Amy. She just diarrhea at the mouth.
Amy just coming out of nowhere, out the woodwork.
Yes. I mean, sorry. Yeah, Amy. Email from Amy. And she's like, Amy. So now she brings this email. And in this email, Amy confessed that she stabbed Cari in Cari's car.
Okay.
So now they have a place where the crime happened. But remember, they already searched Cari's car when they found the car. So Maxwell's son has the car. So they go back to Maxwell's house, or they go get the car. They go to Cari's mom's house, and they get Cari's car. Maxwell's been driving it. He is now a senior in high school, and he had just texted his mom, who he's hoping is still alive. If you're alive, please come to my graduation. Well, now they're taking the car, and the car, they like strip it down. And what they find under like the seat padding, or in the seat padding, is blood. Shocker. So now they have a place. They have basically a confession that's from Liz. And so they get to arrest Liz. She's going to jail. Finally. So she's in jail. Dave finally believes them. Finally.
Oh, gosh. It took that long?
Yeah. Finally. And so they're getting ready for trial. And the police go and visit Dave, and they're like, Dave, we have a lot of evidence, but it'd be good if we had just something more, because what they don't have is a body.
Yeah, where is she?
No body. So Dave was like, you know what? I had an iPad. It's in storage, but Liz gave me an SD card to put in the iPad. Can you use that? And they were like, yes, give us the iPad. So they got it. What they found on the iPad is a picture of a foot, and it's decomposing.
Oh, no.
And it has a tattoo, and
they recognize it. They identify it as
Cari's mom. Yeah, identifies it. The tattoo on Cari's foot is hers. And it's Cari, and the body is in decomp. So she took a picture. It's like her trophy or something. The tattoo means mother, a symbol for mother.
That's nice.
Liz took the motherhood away from Cari. So they also find Cari's camcorder in Liz's house. And so they go to trial, and Liz gets convicted, and she gets life in prison.
Well, good. This bitch needs to burn, because she's obviously crazy.
What's even crazier is during trial, Dave finds out exactly the person that he's been screwing for the last 3 years. He finds out that she is actually responsible for a death of her own baby with special needs by shaken baby syndrome, but she convinced her boyfriend at the time to take the fall, and he went to prison for it. They also had her. They also found out that one of her fathers of her kids, she stalked his new girlfriend, Melissa, for years, but stalked her. She was so obsessed with her, she got extensions to look like Melissa. She dyed her hair to look like a Melissa. She quit her job and got the same job that Melissa had. And she sold her car and got a new car to match Melissa's car. Like, that's how obsessed she was with her ex. His name was Deke.
But this lady she wasn't diagnosed with anything?
No diagnosis came out. Yeah, but Cari was. She constantly harassed that Melissa girl, got fake credit cards in her name, like did whatever.
Oh my.
And then like the last thing that came out in the trial that I thought was crazy. Okay, remember when Liz emailed her job and she quit, right?
Yes.
In that email where she quit, so basically in her, what's it called when you leave?
Resignation
letter, she highly recommended somebody who would be great for the job.
Oh, probably Cari.
Who did Cari highly recommend?
Liz?
Liz!
Yes.
Cari highly recommended Liz Goliar. And you know what this bitch did? Applied for the job and interviewed for it.
I can't.
She did not get hired because this bitch ain't qualified. Like, Cari was a software engineer.
No.
And bang your head on the microphone.
Yes.
And Liz cleaned houses.
I can't.
Actually, she might have been. She's pretty good with technology. And then last but not least, Maxwell went to Iowa State University. He graduated in 2021, and he is a software engineer just like his mommy. That is this crazy story of the Tangled Web.
I love it. I feel like, when did that come out? Years
It
ago?
happened in 2015. It's a, what happened? You probably watched the 2020?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But like
In
years
2015?
ago. I have no clue when I would have watched it. But how would I? There's no clues in the way that you told that story that I would have
guessed it.
A person would have guessed that.
Yeah. That I was the same way. I saw it on something and I was like, wait. Because
I was like, wait.
I know this. Something sketchy.
Yes.
So it came on something.
Yeah, because I remember I was like, wait a second. I'm pretty sure that person is like making up all this stuff and like faking it all because they whatever. But I couldn't remember any of the details. But that was great.
She was so dedicated.
You know what? She was. I got to give her credit.
She kept this going. So at the end, there were 150,000 messages sent to Dave. They tallied it
Well,
up.
how did she make, how was she working at any time? Like,
they said she could have spent up to 40 hours a week working, stalking them. Excuse me.
I mean, I know, like,
she cleaned houses. She owned a house cleaning business. All I can think of is that she had other people doing her cleaning, and she made money off of that. I don't
because,
know.
I mean,
she
I know,
was
like,
dedicated to
if
the
you're
cause.
scheduled, like, that's a lot to, all I do is Instagram for Bloody Happy Hour, and it's like a lot of posting, and that's just, along with your life and, all the other things. But wow, great story, and
woo! It was a long one.
Hopefully you get the ending this time.
Oh, yeah.
Unlike Pazuzu.
Pazuzu.
Because a lot of people want to know if he went to jail.
Pazuzu actually went to jail, life. The two girls got like 30 years in prison. And in jail, Pazuzu ate with his teeth that he filed down like daggers, ate through his brachial artery, and he died. Like, he ate from his elbow to his wrist, and he bled out in jail.
So he killed himself.
Because
somebody else like, oh, he went to jail and committed suicide. And they're like, what a fucking loser. I was like, well, obviously he's a loser. You can smell him through the phone. But, that episode got a little...
Sorry about that, but there's your ending. Just in case you felt like you didn't finish that episode.
And if you're feeling a little sweaty, you think maybe like you're like, oh my gosh, that episode made me so nervous. My balls are sweaty. Guess what? Go get your Manscaped shit. Go get your Manscaped. Spray your ball sack. Spray your vagina.
Or wear it for perfume like Caroline.
Wear it for perfume. Like I've been... It smells so good, y'all. I can't even tell you.
Y'all. All right.
Manscaped.com. Promo code
BHH.
BHH.
Free shipping. We will see y'all next week. Don't forget to go rate, review, and subscribe.
And we got to, read our reviews.
Yeah.
We have
Put some in so we can read them.
Put some in so we can read them. You go to Apple Podcasts. That's where you can go and leave your reviews.
That is all I have. If you want to buy us around for next week, we're drinking on the same Deep Eddies from last week.
Mm-hmm. We're actually really
Venmo
thirsty.
Or cash
And you
app us.
know, Anastasia and Kevin were so generous, but we have not had anybody who's generous this week.
So we're just going to not do episodes.
No, we're quitting. We're quitting.
Bye, y'all. Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF.
Bye, y'all.
Peace out.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.